Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was released back in the year of 2009. The fragrance is from the house of Byredo. We're talking about Afrique. Now Afrique comes in a very snazzy box. That you can see it says Afrique on the front of it, Byredo, and you know it's a sleeve that slides off, and the fragrance is actually inside with with a card that it usually comes with. Anyways, fragrances here. This is the 50 milliliter. It's available in two main sizes, 50 milliliters and 100 milliliters. 50 milliliters is going to run you about $150 US, while the 100 is going to run you $230 retail. I purchased this a little bit cheaper just because I was in France at the time that I purchased this fragrance, and I got it for roughly around $100. So now at this point, since I travel so much, if I can, I'm going to hold out to getting it overseas and then just bringing it back with me when I return to the States. So, anyways, that's the design. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the notes. Notes of the fragrance are listed on screen. This fragrance and I have a history. I smelled this way back in maybe 2010, 2011, and when I smelled it, or not even that far back, sorry, probably around 2012, 13. Anyways, when I smelled it, I was like, man, I've got to get this fragrance. However, my finances at the time really didn't allow me to. It's not like I couldn't afford it, but I always allot myself a certain amount of money to spend on fragrances, and I had exceeded my limit. So I wasn't ready to plunk down the money for it, even though I absolutely loved it. So I put it in the back of my brain, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get this fragrance, I'm going to get this fragrance, but things just kept coming up, getting pushed back, forgot about it. Until, of course, I went to France, and I saw it immediately. I was like, all right, now's the time, I'm getting it, price is right, let's go for it. So I purchased this fragrance, and the reason I had that reaction was the smell, obviously. It comes off as a lemony, bergamot, creamy citrus kind of opening, and it gives way to a little bit of a floral vibe, but it's not necessarily the floral that you're used to. That floral gives it this creaminess to it, and this extra creaminess, and this vetiver, which is very light. It's not the dirty vetiver that you usually smell in a lot of fragrances, but it's more of a light vetiver. That combines, and it just produces this magical scent that the strength really draws from the mid-range to the dry down of the fragrance. Even though the opening is good, the strength of the fragrance is the mid to the dry down. It mixes to create this very beautiful bergamot, lemon, vetiver, and creaminess kind of mixed in together that just smells very refreshing, very uplifting, and at the same time just very suave. And that's what Afrique gives off. It's just got a vibe to it. It's just got a sense to it. So much so that, you know, when I spray it on, I've got confidence, I feel good about myself, and that's really what I'm going for with this fragrance here. I go about 3 sprays with it. It's a good fragrance for the spring and the summertime. Those two are really the prime seasons for this, but you can pull it off in any season. I think this is a good fragrance for any age group that is out there. And as far as occasion, I wear this all over the place. I wear this going out, I wear this to a club, I wear this, even though to a club I think it's almost the wrong vibe for it. I'm just in love with the fragrance for it. But I would recommend casual, work, going out, and with the highlight being on the casual scenario. The performance on this fragrance is good. I'm getting about 8 hours for this fragrance, 8 to 12 hours. That said, the last 4 hours is more of a skin type scent. It's definitely still there. You're still smelling yourself on it, but people probably won't smell you that much after the 8 to 12, kind of range for it. And as far as compliments goes, this fragrance is a slight compliment getter. I did not get the best compliments with this one, but at the same time, I think it'll do pretty decently as long as you can pull it off. So it's not a huge compliment getter, not going to say that, but it does do pretty decent. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating 4 out of 5 stars. Now, it gets 4 out of 5 stars for a couple reasons. One, I believe this is one of the best vetiver scents that are out there. One of the best vetiver base scents that are out there. It combines vetiver with my other favorite note, bergamot, and it produces something magical with it. And if you know me, you know I love creamy fragrances, and this fits that vibe perfectly. The one thing that I would say that is a knock on it is No, it's not the most original type of mixture. Allure Homme Edition Blanche comes to mind. There are other creamy fragrances that have the same sort of vibe. They don't smell like this fragrance, but they have the same vibe. The closest other fragrance to this is Vetiver Fatal from the house of Atelier. That fragrance is very close to this fragrance, and they're very similar on that, so it doesn't get full points for as far as its uniqueness. The price, I think it's a little bit overpriced, only because personally I loved how much I paid for it. I paid $100 for it, and that was the perfect amount. I immediately snatched it up. But I think back to the reason that I did not immediately purchase it, and it was because I thought in my head that it was slightly overpriced, and so I didn't pull the trigger immediately and waited a couple years before I did. But that's kind of my reasoning for it. Anyways, I think it's a solid offering. 4 out of 5 stars. If you're looking for a good summer spring fragrance, if you're looking for something that is a creamy, citrusy, vetiver based fragrance that's uplifting and at the same time just beautiful on that aspect, then this is a fragrance that you want to go ahead and look at. Alright? So Bal d'Afrique from the house of Byredo. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to send me a message, leave me a note, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you guys, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.